This conference will now be recorded.
I'm trying to log in into the Salesforce. I'm going to the developer console. Okay, we are going to the developer console. Whether it is a classic version or the lightning version, the same thing. Okay, go to the Salesforce and open the developer console. And second, it is still loading. Go to the setup, go to setup and open developer console. Open developer console and go to execute anonymous window. How we will go to the execute anonymous window? Remember the terminologies. File, edit, debug is there. Click on the debug. We will get open execute anonymous window. Why we are going into the open execute anonymous window in the sense means, suppose we want to run the code and that is, suppose we want to run the code our own. Suppose we want to run the code our own. Okay. So then we will go with the execute anonymous window. Suppose we want to run the code our own. It's not related to any objects and all those things. Suppose we want to execute the code ourselves. Okay, then we have to go with the execute anonymous window. Execute anonymous window. Suppose I want to test something. Suppose I will run this code. Then what is the output? I want to test something like this. Then we have to go to the execute anonymous window. Execute anonymous window. Here you have to observe execute button is there. Execute highlighted is there. Open log is there. Open log checkbox we have to check. What does that mean? Whenever we will click on execute highlighted, automatically locks it will open. Automatically locks it will open. What do you mean by locks? In the sense means, when we will click on the execute button or execute highlighted button, what exactly happened in the backend? Everything the system it will print. Everything it will the system it will print. That is nothing but locks. That is nothing but locks. Now in this session, we are going to create multiple constructors, a class with multiple constructor, class with multiple constructors, and multiple methods. Okay, multiple methods. We are going to create a class with multiple constructors and with multiple methods. Okay, so what is the purpose? Forget about this one. First we will learn the syntax. Now I am trying to creating one class. What, how we are going to create a class? First we have to use a keyword class. Whether it is a small letter or a capital letter, it doesn't matter. Ours is Apex programming. Apex programming is not a case sensitive. Okay, whether it is a small letter or a capital letter, it doesn't matter. After class, we have to provide one or more spaces and the class name. My class name is nothing but a demo info. Open curly braces, close curly braces. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. Now we want to write a constructor. We want to write a constructor. First of all, what is a constructor? Constructor is nothing but same name as a class name, right? Same name as a class name. Okay, same name as a class name. And the second point is there is no return type. There is no return type here. There is no return type. And the main functionality of the constructor is, it will call automatically. Automatically it will call whenever I am trying to running this class, whenever we are trying to executing this class. Automatically the entry point for this class is nothing but constructor. The entry point for this class is nothing but constructor. The system automatically verify you are calling a class. In that class, any constructor is there. Yes, first I will execute that constructor. So the system it will go here and it will execute this constructor. Now what I will do? I will just go and write one more constructor with one more constructor. Okay, demo info, and but this time in between, I will define some variables. Okay, I will define some variable. A is one variable. So we are trying to declaring a variable in the sense means, why we are declaring a variable? To store the data. Okay, to store the data. So what type of data you are trying to storing? That is nothing but here I am trying to storing integer. Okay, now I am trying to declaring one more variable. In this variable, what kind of data you are trying to storing? Integer data you are trying to storing. Okay, open curly braces, close curly braces. Okay, now I will just go and declare one more constructor. How many constructors like this we can define? In the sense means n number of constructor. N number of constructor. String S, boolean, b, and double double d, any number of constructors, integer, integer a, integer b. Okay, this is my another constructor, this is my another constructor. So we are writing a class with multiple constructors, we are writing a class with multiple constructors. What is the business scenario, why we have to write multiple constructors means we'll discuss going forward, we'll discuss. So here whatever we are defining, right, inside this bracket, so this is a bracket, inside this bracket whatever we are defining, right, that is technically we will call it as a parameters. Okay, that is technically we will call it as a parameters, whatever in between we are waiting. Here a is called one parameter, b is called another parameter, a is a parameter, a is a parameter here, b is another parameter, b is another parameter, all these are technically we will call it as a parameters, technically we will call it as a parameters. Now I am trying to creating a, I am trying to creating one instance of this particular class, I am trying to creating one instance for this particular class. So how to create an instance for this particular class? How to create an instance? So that is nothing but we will just go and use a new keyword, new, and for which class we are trying to creating an instance. For which class we are trying to creating an instance. For this class we are trying to creating an instance, right? New and demo info. The system it will search where is this class. Yes, this class is there here, this class is there here, inside this class any constructor is there, any, yes, one constructor is there, second one is there, third one is there. Then which constructor the system it will call, which constructor the system it will call, this one or this one or this one, this one only. Why this one only? Exactly because of I am not passing anything here. See, I am not passing anything here, so this constructor it will not receive any inputs, it will not receive any inputs. So the system it will call this constructor, the system it will call this constructor. Here we are not passing, we are not taking any inputs from the user. So the system it will verify, yes, this constructor is also the same syntax in the sense means there is no parameter inside this one, there is no parameters. So the system automatically call this constructor. For our understanding purpose, whether it is called this one or this one or this one, how we will find? I will just go and add debug logs, system.debug, system.debug, single quote. In the single quote you have to add anything, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. So I'm just putting like one, I'm just putting like one. Now I will just go to here, system.debug, system.debug. Here second constructor, and I'm trying to printing the value, a value I'm trying to printing. Suppose I want to print another value, suppose I want to print another value, go to here, system.debug. See here, this is a b value, this is a b value we are trying to printing. So this system.debug, this is called logs, debug statement, this is called debug statement. Debug statements are completely for our understanding purpose, for our understanding purpose, whether it is entered into this constructor or into this method, this line of code is executed or not, that is completely for our understanding purpose. Now system dot debug. See here, this constructor, the third constructor, we are adding debug statement, the third constructor I am adding debug statement, I am trying to printing s value here, s value. So we defined one class, in this class we wrote multiple constructor. Now we are trying to creating an instance for this class. While creating an instance, which constructor it will call, we are trying to testing. So how we are testing, we are adding debug logs. Now copy this code, copy this code. So then go to here, either execute or execute highlighted, execute highlighted in the sense means suppose I want to execute only this code, that portion of a code we will highlight, that portion of a code we will highlight. Suppose we want to execute only this piece of code, that portion of code we have to highlight and click on the execute highlighted button. Suppose I want to execute complete class, then go to here, click on the execute button, click on the execute button. Duplicate variable b, see, duplicate variable b, here duplicate variables are there, right? Line number 13, see here, s b, again I declared one more variable b. So this is nothing but duplicate variable, this is nothing but duplicate variable. Then how we know exactly there is a duplicate variable, in the sense means the system automatically show the line number also, Here it is execute anonymous window, that's why it is not showing. So we will actually write this class inside the Salesforce, where we will write, we will discuss. But while saving this class, that time the system automatically show on this line number 13th, b is a duplicate variable, b is a duplicate variable. This is anonymous window, that's why it is not showing that particular line. It is showing only there is a duplicate variable, there is a duplicate variable. Now we are trying to executing, now we are trying to executing this class. Click on this execute button, click on this execute button. Once click on the execute button, see, these are the logs. Logs in the sense means what happened exactly. You click on the execute button. When click on the execute button, what happened exactly? Everything the system print, that is nothing but logs, that is nothing but logs, that is nothing but logs. In that logs, what exactly we want? I don't want all this information. I want only my debug statement, right? I want only my debug statement. That's why here you have to go to here debug only. Click on the debug only. Here line number 5, line number 5, this code it is printed, this code it is printed. Where is this one? Yes, line number 5, this is one is there, this is printed, this is printed. So we are guaranteed, right? When while executing this piece of code, the system it will verify this particular class, and in this class any constructor is there with the same syntax. Yes, constructor is there. It is also not taking any parameters, it is also not taking any parameters. Those the system it will automatically call this one, automatically call this one. Now I am trying to calling, I am trying to creating one more instance, one more instance I am trying to create it. While creating an instance, what I will do, I will just go on like 45 56. Now I am trying to executing this one, I am trying to executing this one. So here whatever we are, I am trying to calling this constructor, right? I am trying to calling this constructor, right? While calling this constructor, we are passing some values, right? We are passing some values, we are passing some values, right? So this is nothing but whatever we are passing, that is technically we will call it as a arguments, technically we will call it as a argument. Okay, so now I am trying to executing this one, I am trying to executing this one. So go to here, click on this execute button. Once click on the execute button, we check this checkbox, right? Open log. Log means whenever we will click on the execute button, what happened exactly in the backend, everything the system it will print, that is nothing but logs, that is nothing but logs. Okay, now go to here, see, the logs are automatically opened, the logs are automatically opened. How it open means we checked the checkbox here, we checked this checkbox, that's why the system, we checked this checkbox, that's why the logs are automatically opened by the system. Now these are the logs. Logs means complete information, who is executed, what happened in the behind, everything it will print. But I don't want all this information, I want only my debug statement. I want only my debug statement. Then what we will do, go to here, debug only is there, right? Click on the debug only, see here, click on the debug only. So line number 5, so whenever we are executing, we executed 20 line also, 20 line, yes, line number 5 it is printed. Now we are trying to executing line number 21, line number 21 demo info is there are two parameters, integer 45 and another integer is nothing but 56. So line number 9 it is printed, see here, line number 9. So second constructor it is entered, the value of a is 45. Here the second constructor, the value of b is nothing but, the value of b is nothing but 56. Now I am trying to creating one more instance, new demo info, and this time 56 56 false, false. I am trying to calling like this, I am trying to calling this like this. So demo info 56 false, I am trying to calling, I am trying to creating an instance. While creating an instance, I am passing the parameters like this. Now we will just go on to test it. Click on the execute button. System it is saying constructor not defined, constructor not defined. Here you have to observe line number 22, we defined one constructor. While writing a constructor, 56 false values we are passing, one integer value, one boolean value here we are passing. The system it will verify any constructor is there, like first parameter should be integer and the second parameter should be boolean, second parameter should be boolean. See, there is no constructor, there is no constructor. So here there is no constructor, so that's why the system it is displaying an error message. Now I am trying to passing the value like this. See, test, so false. Now I am trying to passing like this. The first parameter is string, the second parameter is boolean. Now I am trying to executing this one. Click on this execute button. The system again it is saying constructor not defined, constructor not defined. So here you have to observe, this is a constructor, here this is a string, and this is a boolean. The system it will verify yes constructor is there, but this is not suitable because of it will not receive any parameters. This is also not suitable because of it will receive only two integers. Now here it will come, here it will receive string, yes string it will receive, boolean, yes boolean it will receive. But what about this one? It should also pass. So this is receiving only one, I mean this is receiving 1 2 3 4 5. We should pass in the same order, in the same order and the same number of parameters we have to pass. Yes, string it is receiving, boolean it is receiving, but what about the remaining things? What about the remaining things? We are not passing anything. That's why the system it will not identify, the system it will not identify. We will not think like that. So here it is receiving first two parameters, so we are also passing in the same order, right? So, but what about the remaining parameters? Remaining parameters, so we are not passing anything here, we are not passing anything here. That's why the system it will not identify. Because you are passing this constructor like this, but there is no constructor which is receiving these two parameters. Here it is receiving, but not only two, 3 4 5. We should pass in the same order, we should pass in the same order we have to pass, and the same data type we have to pass. So this is constructor, I mean class with multiple constructor. Class with multiple constructor, we can write n number of constructors, n number of constructor. What is the purpose of writing n number of constructor means, that we'll discuss. First we have to understand the syntax. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay, now I'm trying to writing a class with multiple methods. Okay, go to here. I'm trying to writing a class with multiple methods. I'm trying to writing a class with multiple methods. Here, class with multiple methods. So first of all, how we will write a class? Class, okay, demo methods. This is my class name. Open curly braces, close curly braces. In this class, what I will do? I will just go and write a constructor here. Suppose I will not write constructor here, then what it will happen? Suppose I will not write a constructor, then what it will happen? System automatically generate one constructor. So that is nothing but like this. That is nothing but like this. Suppose we will not write a constructor. It's not mandated to write a constructor. This is my class. This is my class. So now I am trying to creating one instance. Now I am trying to creating one instance. New demo method. I am trying to creating one instance. The system it will verify. Yes, class is there. But inside this class there is no constructor. Yes, no problem. If you are not writing any constructor also, no problem. Automatically I will generate one constructor in the backend. Automatically I will generate one constructor in the backend. The syntax of that constructor is nothing but this is the syntax. So that is nothing but default constructor. Default constructor. So whenever we are trying to calling the class, suppose you will write a constructor, the system it will execute that logic. Suppose we will not write any constructor, then the system what it will do? The system it will search, yes class is there. What about the constructor? You are not writing any constructor, no issues. I will generate automatically one constructor in the backend. So what is the how it will generate is nothing but in this format it will generate. There is no logic inside this constructor. So the class may be with the constructor or may not be with the constructor. If there is no constructor, the system automatically generate a constructor. That is, we will call it as a default constructor. In which format the system it will generate is nothing but in this format the system it will generate. Now I am not writing any constructor here. Okay, now go to here. I am writing one method. My method is nothing but m1 is my method. M1 is my method. I am writing one method. So my what is my method name? My method name is nothing but m1. So and open bracket and close bracket, open curly braces, close curly braces. Okay, first of all we will write one debug statement. Is it mandatory to write a debug statement? Means no. That is, debug statements are for our understanding purpose. The system it will generate logs, right? In that logs, we will verify our debug statements. System.debug, enter into m1 method, enter into m1 method. Okay, so I'm writing one method. My method name is nothing but m1. So finally it will perform some logic. It will perform some logic. Finally it will give the result. That result is nothing but boolean. Return boolean. Boolean means what? Either true or false. So it is returning which value it is returning. It is returning which value? It is returning boolean value, right? So here the return type is nothing but boolean. The return type is nothing but boolean. I'm writing one method. My method is nothing but m1. My method name is nothing but m1. So open bracket and close one, open curly braces and close curly braces. For our understanding purpose, I am trying to writing one debug statement. So in this debug statement, I am just printing enter into m1. So this method assume that it will perform some business logic. Finally, it will give false, either true or false. But here it is giving as a false. Return statement. We will call it as a return statement. So here this is nothing but false. It is returning as a false means which data type we have to use? We should use boolean only. We should use boolean only. Now I am trying to defining one more method. My method, it will take integer I and integer j and integer k. So I am writing one method. This method, it will take three parameters. We have to remember the terminology. These are called parameters. Okay, these are called parameters. These are called parameters. So this method, it will take three inputs from the user. Three inputs from the user. Three inputs from the user means who are running this class. Those users, suppose they want to call this method, they should pass these values. They should pass this value. That's why I am using the terminology. It will receive inputs from the user. It will receive inputs from the user. What I am trying to say is, this is a method syntax. Suppose I want to call this method. So how to call this method? We have to create an instance. By using that instance reference, we have to call. Yes, while calling, you should pass the values. You should pass the values. Here my values are I, J, K. Now what I will do? I plus J. I plus J. I am adding two integers. What is the result? What is the result? Result means I am not asking exactly what is the output. It will give the output. That output is which data type? I am asking. So that result I am trying to storing into one more variable. My variable name is nothing but L. We are declaring variables, right? We are declaring the variables. Whenever we are declaring the variable, we have to specify the data type. We have to specify the data type. Here integer L. I am adding I plus J plus K. Three variables I am trying to adding. Three variables. See here, three variables I, J, K I am adding. Finally, it will give the result. That result I am trying to storing into one variable. That variable is nothing but L. So whenever we are declaring the variable, we have to specify the data type, right? Yes, the result is also integer. We are expecting. I'm adding I, J, K. So finally we will get integer only. That's why here the data type is nothing but integer. So finally assume that this method, it will return L. Finally this method, it will return L. Okay. So what is the return type of this particular method? Integer. What is the return type of that particular method? Integer. Now coming into here, I am writing one more method. My method name is nothing but m3 string s. Okay, string s, string s1, and the next one is boolean b. Okay, string s1, string s, boolean b. This is my method name. This is my method name. Finally this method perform business logic. Assume that this method, it will return s1. What is here s1? S1 is nothing but a string. So what is this method return type? What is this method return type? The method return type is nothing but integer. The method return type is nothing but integer. Now I am writing one more method. I am writing one more method. My method name is nothing but m4. My method name is nothing but m4. Here it will receive boolean. It will receive boolean, and finally it will not give any result. Finally it will not give any result. It will not give any result. So I mean, it will perform some logic. It will perform some logic. Finally it will not give any result. In the sense means, this method result I will not use anyway. This method result I will not use anywhere. So I will just go and put like void. So what exactly this meaning means, we will discuss. Void means whenever we are using void, At the method level, whenever we are using void, no need to write a return statement. No need to write a return statement. Just remember this one. Void means it will not return anything. It will not return anything. It will not return anything. Then why you are writing method? That is our question. That is our question. So here only it will perform the business logic. Here it will perform the business logic, but finally it will not give anything. Whoever is calling this method, I will not give any result. I will not give any result. Everything I will perform here only. So only one thing. So methods sometimes it will not return any result. Methods sometimes it will not return any result. That time you will just go and use void. You will just go and use void. We will discuss that. Okay, we will discuss that. Whenever we are using void at the method level, no need to write return. Okay, no need to write return. Suppose I will write a return statement, then what it will happen? Then what it will happen? We'll discuss. Okay, see, I'm trying to executing. Then that time you will understand. That time you will understand. Okay. So here you have to observe only one thing, new void. Whenever we are using void, we should not use a return. We should not use the return. So why? What is the purpose? What then why? What is the purpose of writing this method means? We'll discuss that. Just remember this syntax. Whenever we are using void at the method level, we should not write a return statement. Suppose I will write a return statement, then what it will happen? Suppose I will write a return statement, then what it will happen? Okay, now I am trying to executing this one. See how we are trying to executing this one. How we are trying to executing this one. Here you have to observe, I am not writing any constructor. I am not writing any constructor here. Okay, this is one method, this is another method, this is another method, this is another method. There is no constructor. Now I want to call this m4 method, m3 method, m2 method, m1 method. Then how we are going to call? First we have to create an instance. Whenever we are trying to creating an instance, the system it will search any constructor is there. There is no constructor. Then what system it will do? In the back end, automatically the system it will generate a constructor. Okay, the system it will generate a constructor. Now I'm trying to executing this one. Go to here, execute highlight. See here, illegal conversion from string to integer. Anything s1, s1. Okay, here s1 we are using the return type is string, right? That is the first one. Here you have to observe s1, but here the return type I am using string. That's why it is displaying an error message. See here you have to observe integer, right? Now I am trying to executing this one. Execute this one. See, illegal conversion from string to integer. How exactly we will go to this particular line? In the sense means, whenever we are writing a class, and I mean here we are not creating any classes, right? Execute anonymous window is purely for our understanding purpose. Suppose I will execute this logic, what is the output it will come? So for that purpose we will use. So generally we will create these classes inside Salesforce. Inside the Salesforce we will create. Whenever we will creating an apex class, these type of error the system automatically show. First you are saying integer, but here you are saying string. So I will not save this apex class. I will not save this apex class. The system it will not allow us to save. The system it will not allow us to save. So here you have to go to here string. Here we are writing this class inside execute anonymous window. I am not creating any class. Here you have to observe, I am not creating any class. We are using execute anonymous window. Why we are using execute anonymous window? In the sense means, that is for our understanding purpose. Suppose I will run this code, what exactly happening? What is the output for this code? That we have to test it, right? That we have to test it. Okay, so for that particular purpose we will just go and use execute anonymous window. Now I am trying to running this one. Go to here, execute this one. See, void method must not return a value. See, whenever we are using void, whenever we are using void, I'm using void, we should not use a return statement. This method it will not return anything. If it will not return anything, then why you are writing this method? Means there is some cases are there. Some cases are there. Okay, we'll discuss that. So here what we have to remember, whenever we are using void at the method level, no need to write a return statement. Okay, no need to write return statement. Now my target is I want to call this m3 method. I want to call this m2 method. That is my target. This is my class. This is my class. Now my target is we want to call this m3 method and we want to call this m2 method. M2 method we want to call. How to call? How to call? The first thing is, this method is in which class? Into this demo method class, right? Now we have to create an instance for that one. new demo methods, new demo method. First we have to create an instance. Whenever we are using this line, see here, new space the class name and here colon. So at the end of the colon in the sense means we are telling to the system the line it will end here, the line it will end here. So at the end of each and every line we should use the colons here. Here you have to observe each and every line we have to use the colon. Okay, now we are trying to creating an instance. Whenever we are using this line, the system it will verify yes demo method class is there, yes class is there. Inside this class it will verify any constructor is there, but here there is no constructor. Then what it will happen? Nothing will happen. The system automatically generate one constructor in the backend. Okay, the system automatically generate one constructor in the backend. Okay, now what is my next step? Our target is we want to call m2 method, m3 method, right? So now we have to create one reference for this class. We have to create one reference for this class. So I will just go and declare one variable here. My variable name is nothing but anything here. My variable name is nothing but anything. I am just providing my variable name as a d. Okay, here we are using demo method, that's why we should give like d. It is not like that. I will just go and put like this also. Okay, just provide one variable. I'm just providing one variable. My variable name is nothing but d. Whenever we are declaring a variable, we should specify the data type, right? This, you are declaring one variable. In that variable, what type of data you have to store? So now I am telling to the system this variable is a this class type. This variable is a this class type. So in the right hand side, we are trying to creating an instance for this particular class. Now coming into the left hand side, why we are using the variable? Why we are using this variable? Why we are declaring a variable? Means my target is I want to call this particular method m2 method, m3 method. So now we need one difference, that is nothing but any name. That is nothing but any name. So here d dot m2, I am trying to calling d dot m2. While calling, see, I will call like this. Okay, we will just go on to verify whether it will execute or not. Click on this execute button. See here, void m2 from type method does not exist or incorrect signature. See here, method does not exist. M2 here it is showing. So I am trying to calling this M2 method. Yes, M2 method is there, but what M2 it will do? It will take some inputs from the user, right? It will take some inputs from the user. Anyone who is calling me, we have to provide some data. Yes, which data I have to provide? You have to provide the data in this particular order, in the with this data types only. You have to provide the data with this particular in this order and with this particular data type. So now I will just go and provide say, any number integers. Yes, 56. Yes, now I will just go and provide false. Let's see what it will happen. Now again I will just go and execute this one. Again the system it is saying m2 method you are passing integer boolean, but there is no method with that particular syntax. There is no method with that particular syntax, right? Yes, here also it integer, right? Now I'm just passing any value. So I'm trying to calling this method. This method, what it will tell to the system, anyone who is calling me, we have to provide the data in this order. First you have to provide integer, next integer only. Then only I will allow you to call. Then only I will allow you to call. So I'm trying to calling this method. How we are calling? This method is on which class? In this class, right? We have to create an instance by using this reference d.m2. 78, 56, 56. I'm trying to calling this one. Now execute this one. I'm trying to executing this one. Whether it is entered into this particular method or not, how we will identify? I will just go and add one debug statement. Wherever we want, we will just go and add the debug statements. Okay. And here, see, this is, I'm trying to printing I. Okay. I'm trying to printing I. Go to here. Now I'm trying to executing this one. I'm trying to executing this one. See, it is executed, right? So we checked this open log, right? The system automatically generated logs. Logs, we will call it as a logs. Logs means each and every information it will print. Not only our debug statement, each and every information. You are clicking on the execute button. Something is happening in the back end. What happening in the back end? Everything I will print. So that is nothing but logs. That is nothing but logs. See, who executed this one? This user is executed, which time zone, everything it will print. But I don't want all these things. I want only my debug statement. My debug statement, this is, we will call it as a debug statement. So now I want to see only my debug statement. See here, this frame is there, executable is there, debug only is there, right? Click on this debug only. So line number 10, it will also print the line numbers also. Line number 10, we added one debug statement. That debug statement is nothing but this one. Go to here. Yes, line number 10 only, right? We added debug statement IIA between whatever we added in the single quote, that exactly it will print. So here 78. Okay. So in this way, we will just go and call the method. Okay, this is nothing but parameters. This is nothing but arguments. We will call it as it. So in this way, we will create an instance, and in this way, we will call the method. And here, void means it should not return anything. It should not return anything. Finally, one class should contain a number of constructor and number of methods. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay, this is class with multiple methods and a class with constructors. Okay, class with constructor. Okay, now we are going to discuss one more topic, that is nothing but type of variables. Okay, type of variables. Type of variables. There are three types of variables. There are three types of variables. Okay, any confusion or anything, please let me know. Okay, this information we have to understand. Okay, we have to understand. Okay, any confusion or anything, please let me know. Okay, now coming into our new topic, that is nothing but types of variables. There are three types of variables. Okay, there are three types of variables. One is okay, local variables, and the second one is instance variable. Okay, the second one is instance variables, and the third one is static variables. Okay, static variable, there are three types of variables. One is instance variable, and another one is local variable, and another one is static variable. So I am writing one class here. Okay, this is my class. Class, what is my class name? Any name, demo variables. Okay, demo variables. Inside this class, what I will do, I will just go and write one constructor. Constructor means what? Same name as a class name. Here it is the entry point for this class. It is the entry point for this class. In this constructor, this is one constructor, and I will just go and write one more method. My method name is nothing but void m1. I will just go and write one more method. My method name is nothing but m2, and this method it will return integer. Okay, it will return integer m2, and return 23. Okay, this is a class, this is a class, this is a constructor, this is one method, this is another method. Based on my requirement, we wrote this constructor and a method. Now what I will do, I will just go and declare one variable here. Where declaration and initialization, just remember, this is nothing but declaration. Okay, suppose I will provide, this is nothing but declaration, integer j is equals to 10. This is nothing but while declaring declaration, and we are providing also some value. That is nothing but initialization. Everything we are doing in the same line. Okay, only declaring, I am not assigning any value here. Here I am also assigning some value here. That is nothing but declaration plus initialization. Declaration plus initialization. I am declaring the variable, at the same time I am also assigning some value. That is nothing but initialization. This is nothing but a declaration only. Okay, now I am trying to declaring, see here, that's why I am using terminology. I am trying to declaring one variable. That variable name is nothing but I, and I am also assigning some value. So declaration and initialization we are doing in the same line. Okay, now what I will do, where we declare this variable? We declare this variable inside constructor, right? We declare this variable inside constructor, right? Okay, inside this constructor. Now what I will do is, I will call this variable in another method. I am calling this variable inside this method. system dot debug. See, I value is plus I. Okay, I value is plus I value is plus I. Okay, so we declared one variable. Where we declared the variable? In the class level we declared, or inside constructor, or inside method? In this case we declared and initialized inside the constructor, right? Declared and initialized inside the constructor. Now I am trying to accessing that variable. I am trying to accessing that variable. Where we have to have, where, how we are going to access that particular variable? How we are going to access that particular variable? So directly system.debug I value is nothing but plus I am trying to printing. Now what I will do is I will just go and run this class. How to run this class? New demo variables. First we have to create an instance. New demo variables, and now I want to call this method. So here the reference variable name is nothing but d, and what is the data type here is nothing but demo variables only. Now I am trying to calling this method d.m1. Let's see what it will happen. Let's say I am trying to executing this code. I am trying to executing this code. Some code I am highlighting. Go to here, execute highlighted one. See what the system it is showing. Variable does not exist I. Variable does not exist I. Okay, variable does not exist I. Go to here. I'm trying to we declared one variable. Where we declared one variable? See here, inside this constructor we declared one variable and we initialize this variable. Now where we are trying to accessing this variable? I variable, where we are trying to accessing? In another method we are trying to accessing, right? Another method we are trying to accessing. What system it is saying? System it is saying, boss, there is no I variable, but you are calling I variable. But here we declare this I variable. Why system it is not identifying? Why system it is not identifying? So because of we declared a variable. Where we declare this variable? Where we declare this variable? Inside this constructor, right? Declaration where we did integer I, where we did at the constructor level. Initialization and declaration we did at the constructor level. Constructor means within this bracket only we declared, right? Within this bracket. So whenever we will declared one variable inside this bracket, the visibility in the sense means that variable is available only within this bracket only. Within this bracket I declare this variable inside this bracket. This bracket is constructor or method, it doesn't matter. Where we declared inside this curly braces. Inside this curly braces, so I am available only within this curly braces. Within this curly braces, but you are trying to accessing outside of this curly braces. Outside of curly braces, so that's why I'm not available here. That's why I'm not available here. For example, I'm trying to declaring one variable here. Integer k is equals to 20. I'm trying to declaring one variable here. Integer k is equals to 20. Now I'm trying to accessing this variable. System.debug k value. So here k. What system it will do? What system it will do? 1 second. Okay. What system it will do? 1 second. So what system it will do? See here, we declare this variable. Where we declare this variable? Inside this curly braces. Then what system is saying? Bus, you declared one variable. Where you declared inside this curly braces. So I am available only within this curly braces. Then why you are accessing outside? You are accessing outside. In a different method you are trying to accessing. So I am not available. I am not available. Now coming into here, where we declare this variable? Integer k, where we declare it. Declaration means I am using the terminology. Variable name and the data type we are using in the same line. That is nothing but declaration. So we are also providing the value. That is nothing but declaration plus initialization. Suppose here the target is here the case is we are trying to declaring the variable. Where we are declaring the variable? Forget about the initialization. We will do initialization or not, it doesn't matter. You are trying to declaring a variable. Where you are declaring the variable? Inside this curly braces. Inside this curly braces, you are trying to declaring this variable. See here, inside this one. Then what is the visibility of this particular variable? Inside this curly braces, but you are trying to accessing outside of this one. So then I am not available. Here also, you declared one variable. Inside this curly braces, you declared this variable. Then where you are trying to accessing? You are accessing in another method. Another curly braces you are trying to accessing. I am not available. So finally, this is nothing but local variables. The terminology is nothing but local variables. Local variables are nothing but variables which are declared inside method or constructor. Inside method or constructor. Okay, inside method or constructor. That inside method or constructor, these are the variable. I is a one variable, k is one variable, j is one variable, s is one variable. So variables which are declared inside constructor. See, I declared this variable. How I am saying it is a declaration is nothing but I am writing integer I. That is nothing but declaration. I am generating one variable. My variable name is nothing but I. By generating a variable, we have to specify the data type. Where we are used writing this line inside this curly braces. This curly braces is constructor or method? Yes, constructor. Yes, this variable is available only with this constructor. So this is nothing but local variable. This is local to this constructor. I'm local to this one. I'm visibility is in this area only. I mean in this area. In the sense means in this constructor only. So variables are which are declared inside method or constructor. Okay. Then what is the next one? What is the next one? The visibility. Visibility is nothing but visibility is nothing but visibility is nothing but methods inside that method only or in that area. Okay, in that area. In that area in the sense means where you declared inside method. Yes, I am available only in that area. In that area in the sense means in that method only. Suppose I am trying to declaring one variable inside constructor. Yes, I am available in that area only. In that area means inside constructor only. That is nothing but local variables. Finally, the definition of the local variables is local variables are the variables which are declared inside the constructor or inside the methods. The visibility of that variable is in that constructor only where we declared. Inside in that method only where we declared. Suppose we are trying to accessing outside, then what system it will do? It will display an error message because this variable I am not able to find. This variable I am not able to find. Okay. Any questions on this one? Any questions? Okay. Now coming into here. Okay. Now go to here. This is a class, right? At the top of the class. At the top of the class. At the top of the class, I will just go and declare one variable, integer k. At the top of the class, I will just go and declare one variable, integer l. So then this variable, we will call it as a instance variable. This variable, we will call it as a instance variable. Instance variable in the sense means at the top of the class. At the top of the class. Sometimes some people, what they will do in the middle also, they will declare inside m. Inside m. They will declare in the middle also because of they declared in the middle but not within this bracket, right? Within not this bracket, right? So finally the variables which are not declared inside method, inside constructor, wherever you want you will just go declare. So generally what we will do is at the top of the class only we will declare. At the top of the class only we will declare. If you want you will also declare here, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But it is not outside of the, no, sorry, it is not inside the constructor, it is not inside the method, right? So wherever you want you can just go and declare. So I'm declaring at the top of the class. I'm just declaring integer k. So these variables are called instance variables. Instance variables. These variables are called instance variables. Instance variables are nothing but these are the variables which are declared outside of the method and outside of the constructor. The visibility of these particular variables are throughout the class. In class, suppose I want to use this k variable. Yes, you will just go and use this one. So this I am available in all areas wherever you want. I'm available in all areas in this class. You declare on the top of this one. Then if you want, go and use in constructor. If you want, you will just go and use M1. If you want, you will just go and use in M2. So whenever we will declare any variables at the top of the class, whenever we are declaring any variable at the top of the class, top of the class, what about this one? For example, I will just go and declare here, this one also. So not inside method, not inside constructor, then those variables technically we will call it as a instance variables. The variables which are not declared inside method, inside constructor, then those variables technically we will call it as a instance variable. What is the visibility of that particular variable? In the sense means throughout the class, in all areas, constructor level we can access, okay, method level also we will access, wherever we want in that particular class we will just want access. That is nothing but instance variable. That is nothing but instance variable. For example, go to here, system dot debug. I am trying to accessing, for example, integer I, okay, integer I is equals to 20. Okay, I am trying to accessing here. You have to observe, integer I is equals to 20, integer I is equals to 10, same variable name, right? We can use like this. Yes, we can use, this is local variable and this is instance variable. Suppose here in the constructor level I am using I, then which value it will take, just we will check. I have doubt, then how I will clarify. So my question is, we declared one variable at the top of the class. Yes, what is that variable? We will call instance variable. And again with the same name, I am trying to declaring one more variable. Where we are declaring inside constructor or inside method. Then which variable it will take? This value it will take or this value it will take? How we will find? I have this question. How we will find? How we will find? We will just go and add debug log. Once add a debug log, then what we have to do? What we have to do? We will just go and execute this one. We will just go and execute this one here. So now copy this code, copy this code. Now you will just go and execute this one. See here, executed, right? Now go to here, which value it will take? Which value it will take? Now go to here, I need debug logs. I need debug logs. See, constructor, which value it is taking? 10 only it is taking, right? See here, integer I is equals to 20, right? Integer I is equals to 20. At the top of the class, we declared one variable. My variable name is equal to I is equals to 20. Sorry, my variable name is I value is 20. Now coming into constructor, I declared one more variable with the same name. Yes, we declared. Then here now I am trying to printing which value it will take, this value it will take or this value it will take. I have also some question like this. Then what I will do, I will just go and add system.debug statement, and I will just go and print I. How to print? Plus I. Now I want to execute this one. How to execute? Go to here and you have to call this class. So now I am trying to calling this one. Go to here, execute highlighted one. I am just selecting highlighted one. Why? Means these lines are there, right? This is not related to any coding. Suppose we will execute completely, means it will generate syntax error. See here. So now I am trying to executing only the selected one. Execute highlighted here. Click on execute highlighted. Now go to here. Which value it will take? Which value it will take? See here. Constructor, at the constructor level, what is the value? I is equals to 10. So the local value only it will take. First I will take local value. Suppose you will declare one variable at the top of the class and at the method level. Now suppose you want to use at the method level, then the system it will take local is high priority, local one is high priority, local person is high priority, right? So that's why this variable is a high priority, local variable is a high priority. So I will consider only this I value. I will not take this I value because of already one variable is there with this particular name. So finally, what is the instance variable? Instance variables is nothing but variables which are declared outside of the class. Okay, sorry, outside of method, or generally we will call it as a top of the class. Top of the class. What is the visibility? What is the visibility? Where it is available? Visibility is nothing but entire class. We can use anywhere in that class. Okay, now here the observation is, we suppose we declare one variable at the top of the class and we will declare one variable at the local or constructor level and the method level. Then which variable is high priority? Means locals are high priority, right? So that is nothing but local variable. Okay. In the next session, we will go with the static variables. In the next session, we will go with the static variable, and this is for today's session. Tomorrow we have session. Okay. In the next session, we will go with the static variable. Okay. This is for today's session. We'll go one by one. You have any question?